So again, hello Internet. Today is still Wednesday, October the 29th. Quick side note, my legs are freaking sore. I no longer work part-time at a restaurant. I've just decided that my home life just needs to be improved more by staying home. But of course now I have all this free time, so I've started working out and I figured I'd get a trainer. For those of you who can work out without a trainer, my hat's off to you. It's not that I'm not motivated. I don't push myself as hard by myself as I do with someone pushing for me. So basically, my trainer, nice guy, is one hell of an evil SOB. I could barely walk down the stairs last night to take a shower. It's just brutal. But I feel great. I feel fantastic. So all you guys, get out there, get healthy, and basically, yeah, just have fun. So I got a couple products in the mail the other day, obviously from Ellusionist. I picked up Faith Healer, Luc Germain. I haven't read it yet. Based upon what I've seen in this book, there is some questionable content as far as ethics and morals, passing yourself off as a faith healer, but at the same time it's a magic trick. We all know these are magic tricks. So I'll leave the ethics and morals to you guys. I know there's always issues like, do we lie, do we not lie? I don't want to present myself as this. Like, really, we're kind of putting on a show. I see both sides of the argument, but at the same time, the entertainment value I feel is worth far more than anything detrimental that could possibly happen, because I don't think anything detrimental really could happen, but there are those out there, people out there who are, like, I would say feeble-minded, but not exactly strong-willed. But what I really want to talk about is the King's deck that I got from Ellusionist as well, Peter McKinnon and Daniel Madison. I have not met Daniel yet. I have met Peter. I've talked to Daniel on a few occasions, and I knew this project was in the works for a while. But it was just moving slowly, I think, because of everything that was going on. But essentially, let's see if we can get this open. Actually, yeah, it's open. I'll show you the box first. I've already opened a box, so it's kind of dinged up a little. The box itself is a flat matte gold box. It's not very reflective, but it's smooth. Like it looks very smooth and sleek. But it attracts scratches like you would not believe. One side is completely smooth. The other side, let's see if I can get the angle, get myself out of the angle. My camera's tracking my face, so it's really hard to see. I think you can see it just a little bit there. I'm looking at my viewfinder. You can see a little bit the logo there. The logo is an axe with the sword crossed over, so crossing over like this. On the top, you've got Madison McKinnon with the same logo. On one side, you've got, let's see here, it says think like kings on one side, live like kings on the other side. And then on the bottom is the Ellusionist address embossed. Everything's embossed on this box, so it's like it's just slightly raised, and it's some of the finest, like some of the most detailed embossing I've ever seen. It is very, very finely done. Dang it, I can't get into this thing without. There we go. Very finely embossed. So it is a nice box. It is a very nicely done box. Nothing. Let's get these cards out of here. Nothing on the inside, it's just completely white, but you can tell that there is, I wouldn't say considerable expense, but there is more to do this than just printing a deck. This is, I'd say, like a foil paper almost. I've got another deck, a prototype deck, off to one side. I'll show you that later. The deck itself, though, you guys all know my views on cards. Any deck that comes out of the box fresh, you should be able to fan. You should be able to, like do all your moves. It should handle nicely. Like, those guys that come out and say, "Oh, this fans beautifully." All cards should fan beautifully. If I crack that cellophane and open a brand new deck of cards, it better damn well perform. And the deck performs as expected. It is it fans. It's nice. I can't quite tell about the card stock. It feels honestly like regular stock to me. I don't think we're doing the thicker stock anymore, but at the same time, so that kind of makes it easier as far as putting cards into decks into Porper clips. I haven't done the Porper test with these ones yet, but as you know, if you try and stick an old style Ellusionist deck into a Porper clip, you have a bitch of a time getting it out, just because it's just so tight. So each deck comes with a double backer, as well as an Angle Z card, and when you make a purchase, you get an online an email saying go to this link to learn all about how to use these cards and stuff like that. There's two interesting features about this deck, though, that you may or may not know. I'm sure most of you know already, actually. It's a marked deck, and it's one of the better marking systems that I've ever seen, in that you don't have to be a 16-year-old kid with supervision to see the markings. The interesting thing about this marked deck is that the markings occupy like a large space on each side of the deck, like, you know, like literally 2 fingers wide. You can see the back here, and just so you know, the back is the skull and crossbones logo, you know, back and forth. It's I wouldn't say it's simplistic, but it's simple, not simplistic. 2 completely different things. It's a simple back, and I'll talk more on that later. And a simple design, basically. And I like cards that are simple. I don't like cards that are noisy just for noisy's sake. If you're going to make a card noisy, it's got to be good. It's got to be nicely designed. The Arcane Decks is a very good example of a nicely designed deck. Excuse me. So anyways, the marked part of the cards is on the first 2 rows and then the bottom 2 rows, obviously, because if you got to do this, you got to be able to see what's going on. And at first I thought, like, you know, when you do like the flip book thing, you can do this, you can see things bouncing around. The good thing about it is you have to be paying really, really close attention to see it, because the design of the logo is, I'm just going to put it right in front of my face. Because, will it focus? Will it focus? Oh, there we go, yes. Because of the design is so simple and so, what's the word I'm looking for? So detailed, not detailed and there's a lot of fine detail. Detailed in that there's like exact detail, like the thin lines and stuff like that. I've done the picture book test. I've flipped through the deck to see if I can things bouncing around, and it's not noticeable. I'm looking hard and I don't notice it because it's over such a wide area that it's not one space constantly jumping around over and over and over again. There's another deck that Madison put out that was marked as well. I think it was the Gamblers. You think I'd know this. But it all basically, the marking encompassed one little area here, and like, and dude, you had to have supervision to see that thing. Like, you know, that's a I don't know what that is. You know, like, I could never see it. Like, marked decks to me are useless because I just can't see them. My eyes just aren't good enough anymore. This one I actually have no problems with because it occupies such a wide space, and I like that. That's actually smart. And because like different things mean different things, you can flip through like the deck and not notice something over here switching because it's switching over here. And the second you look over here, it's actually now switching over here. So that flip book test is just barely like you don't notice it unless you're looking hard for it. And that's a good thing about this deck. And then as I pulled the deck out, I almost got upset, but then I remembered something else about this deck. It's a stacked deck. And for those of you that know what stack work is, basically a stacked deck is, the deck is in a prearranged order that is memorized, that you know where each card is and which card it follows or is previous. And stacked deck work is hard. It is not easy because there's a lot of memory work involved, and you have to make that memory work transparent. You can't just sit there and like, okay. See, I know people that, you know, Ace of Spades, and right away, boom, 36. The Ace of Spades is like 36 spot down. Or if, you know, you say, find me the 4 of clubs. They could just riffle down, count, and cut, and the 4 of clubs is right there. That's like, you know, stack work in its barest, you know, absolute minimalist form. Like that's basically what it is knowing where the card is. But I thought it was like, what the hell, man? Like, you know, why would this deck, nice. Let's find it this way. Why is the deck not in like the right new deck order? And that's when I remembered. This stack is called Mnemonica, which is from Juan Tamariz. And at first I was upset that, like, you know, if you shuffled this deck, you think I'd know how to fan cards so people could see them. So yeah, at first I was upset about the deck being stacked because once you shuffle it, the stack is gone. How do you get it back? You're not going to know how to get it back. But then I was watching the video that Peter and Daniel have done, basically going over the deck. They basically said, you know, we've made things easy for you. We haven't done it for you. We've made things easy for you. So, and it's not theirs to teach. They actually said, like, this stack is not theirs to teach. So they're not going to teach it to you. They've just made it easier for you to use a brand new deck with. So when you reach into, like, you know, your pocket and like unwrap a brand new deck, you know, boom, it's in stack. And then you can have 2 decks working all the time, both the same. Pull one out of this pocket for Ambitious, one out of this pocket for Other Miracles. And that's what I think is one of the good things about this deck, is like they don't really hand everything to you. Not that they could, mind you. The book, just if you're wondering, is this one here, Mnemonica. And there's, let me just, here, 9, the first card is, yeah, it's exactly Mnemonica. So it's basically, like, this book is a compendium of memorized deck work. I know a friend of mine up in Toronto, Jeff Hinchliffe, works basically is a working magician, very well known. Not very well known, very well knowledgeable. That's the word, knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable, especially from this book and the miracles he. Oh, holy crap! Like I want to be, bow down. I want to be you. Can I be you, please? It's powerful stuff, but it takes work. It takes a lot of work because not only do you have to make the stack and you recalling the stack make it seamless, you have to be able to do it over and over and over again and not appear like you're thinking about it. Or if you are thinking, make it appear that it's part of the trick and not like you're trying to, like, you know, come up with this, you know, do the math to figure out what card it is. So there's that. Basically, the jokers is the two logos. Oh, the two logos, the axe and the sword. Let's get my face out of the way. Focus. There we go. It's the axe and the sword. I'm not sure who is who. I'm not sure if Peter's the axe or if Peter's the sword and vice versa. But that's, you know, those are the jokers. Very simple again. And then the faces, if you've seen a regular deck, the red on this is like just a little bit more mute. The black, obviously you can't mute black anymore. The face cards actually do it really well. If you've seen a regular, let's get this in my way. If you've seen a regular face card, you know that the colors on the faces are a lot brighter and more vibrant. So they've toned everything down, and I like the fact that they've toned everything down because it leads again to that simple deck. You know it's a red, you know it's a black, you know what's going on. It's like, I would call this like a wine or a burgundy for the reds, but they've really done nothing. Nothing to the faces. And if you recall my last deck video, I trashed the Legends deck from the Conjuring Art Society because they did all this fancy shit to the back, but they didn't touch the front. In this case, it's not a big deal because they really haven't done anything fancy to the back. So therefore, there's nothing, you don't need to compensate for the front. Like, they basically just adjusted the colors to let you know something's been done. And that, in my eyes, is okay. This is, like I said, it's a simple deck. It's not a simplistic deck. It's a simple deck, and I like it. And then, to finish off, what they had done, they had a promo saying basically, this is the deck we wanted to do, but we couldn't do it. And this shiny piece of thin work was the one they had wanted to do. They wanted to use the shiny foil, but I can tell you, like, I didn't even have to watch the video explaining what was going on. This stuff scratches like you would not believe. They wanted to have it so you could do it like a shiner, so you could kind of see, like, you know, like a reflection and see what card was there. So if this card was on a table, like, you hold the cards like this, and oh, okay, I can tell. I can just look at my deck and tell you what it is. So they wanted to do this, but this stuff gets scratched up. You would not believe so easily, and I think the cost was prohibitive as well. In all honesty, I think I'm a bigger fan. Let's flip it around. Autograph. I think I'm a bigger fan of the matte than I am the shine. I think this just looks a little bit more, I wouldn't say professional, but a little more sophisticated in my eyes. Like, this is bling, this is sophistication. And that, I think, is what makes the deck so nice. I'm not above saying, hey, these decks suck. They don't. They're a nice deck. It fans, they cut, you can do all the moves. Like, I don't care about that anymore because we all know what I feel about that. But the deck itself, it does exactly what it's advertised to do. It's a marked deck. It's an easy to read marked deck. It's a stacked deck. Granted, you have to go out there and do the work to learn the stack, but it's a stacked deck. And then, above all, it's a deck. You can use this for anything. You could use this for your restaurant work tomorrow, or your close-up, or just stick it in your pocket and have some fun with it. I don't advise using the markings to cheat or anything like that, unless you're just goofing around with some friends. But this deck is a must-buy. I think honestly, you guys, would be doing yourselves a disservice if you do not at least have one or two of these decks in your collection, in your pocket, or wherever you put your decks these days. So yeah, that's it. That's the King's deck from Daniel Madison and Peter McKinnon via Ellusionist.com. Each deck is, I believe $7.95. And what's funny, someone on Facebook said, "You guys aren't going to Dan and Dave these decks, are you?" And I had to laugh because I had to ask, what the hell does Dan and Dave daving a deck do? And that's apparently making them more expensive than they need to be because of fancy boxes or whatever. So it's kind of funny that Dan and Dave, they're a verb and a noun or an adjective. They're two of those groups now, which is kind of funny. They're not just a name. It's a verb, I think. Verb or an adjective? I need to go back to school. But either way, you guys know what I'm saying. We did not Dan and Dave these decks. We illusioned them. Ellusionist did. I'm just going to say illusioned. So you guys have a good day. Have a happy Halloween. The day's coming up. Go out, have fun, do some really cool tricks. Scare your friends, scare your neighbors, and enjoy yourselves. My name is David Mitchell, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.